Okay, we are back with the second Rocky movie, and it's the same length as the first one, and a lot happens in just under 2 hours in this movie. So we start out with the first 6 minutes with an adjusted version of the first Rocky movie's ending, such as this time we see Tony Gazzo present in the crowd watching the fight, and it's the same ending, so I'm not going to play much of it. Now we are at Rocky 2's opening title sequence. Music sounds awesome here, but Rocky's being rushed to the hospital after the boxing match against Apollo Creed. This time we have Sylvester Stallone directing the second movie and has also written it. And now we are at the hospital and just take a look at everyone here. Rocky, Mickey, Adrian. It's like these guys have aged 10 years. Adrian especially looks way older here than she did in the first movie. And I don't know how that even makes sense. Paulie losing weight in one night. Even Mickey looks like he aged 100 more years since 1976, even though he's 72 here. So we have the journalist present asking Rocky questions about if there's going to be a rematch, and
No, you're going to get worse if you don't get out of here.
Damn, Paulie, back then was okay to do that. Now you can easily get charged for it. You'll see Apollo Creed being wheeled into the conversation, and he is mad and wants a rematch right away.
You said there weren't going to be no rematch.
Look, Chuck, any place, anytime.
And I forgot to mention this very important part with the previous Rocky movies, that Apollo is known for not doing any rematches against anyone. But Rocky tells everyone around that he's officially retired, and Apollo is even more pissed off. And Rocky is off to the operation room and starts to mumble.
First, on my nose.
Maybe from the laughing gas. So he's back in the hospital room, and Paulie is there, but he tells Rocky that he's willing to take his old debt collecting job from Tony Gazzo, since Paulie's looking for work again, even though rich from selling Rocky's name from the previous movie.
Gazzo, he admires you a lot.
The nurse walks in to kick out Paulie. Is it just me, or does Paulie sound more mature here? After losing all that weight, he did sound pretty high-pitched and insecure in the first Rocky movie. It's like everyone changed so much in 3 years. The nurse now wants an autograph from the famous Rocky Balboa, so he goes back to rest and then checks back up on Apollo to see if he did his best during the boxing match.
Thank you.
So Rocky's now better overnight and is leaving the hospital with Adrian, and we see this couple annoying Rocky, who are actually talent agents for Rocky to start his new path into commercials or show business, since his name can now become a brand. But before that, Rocky sees a fan and gives him his autograph, and the agents want Rocky to sign some papers to participate in those commercials, but he says he will do it later. So Rocky and Adrian are now walking in the zoo, and Rocky finally asks her to marry him.
I was wondering if you wouldn't mind marrying me very much.
What'd you say?
Speak up, baby.
Yes, I'd like to marry you.
And now they're at church for the wedding, and we see Father Carmine here stating the vows in Italian, since he can't speak English but can understand it. And the same goes for Rocky and Adrian. Understand Italian but can't really speak it. And now they're wedded or married.
You may kiss the bride now.
Of course, we see Tony Gazzo again with Paulie and Mickey's also there. He has to get back to work at the boxing gym, so Tony Gazzo tells Rocky that since he's now retired, he should invest his money into condominiums, since he won the $37,000 from the fight against Apollo.
About investing in condominiums.
Condominiums. I never use them.
Either he's referring to condos or condoms.
And he was very confused.
And now we see Rocky carrying Adrian back to the Balboa base, and we see Street Choir again from the first movie. At least I think they're the same guys. So Adrian and Rocky really got married in a hurry. Now they're at Rocky's apartment, where they tell each other nothing will ever change between them no matter what. And now we see a full 2-minute long kissing scene. The next morning we see Rocky and Adrian at the car dealership, and this is where Rocky has his compulsive spending phase. Starting out with this car, a Pontiac Trans Am, and Adrian, being the responsible one here, knows that all this stuff will be eventually a waste of money.
You know how to drive?
Why not a drive?
Now in real life, usually it's the other way around. Responsible man and impulsive woman, from what I know. So they get the car and drive off to stop by the store that sells expensive clothing, and Rocky gets tempted by buying the Jack of the Tiger on it, but Adrian says no. He also gets something for her as well, and now they are buying watches and a new collar for Butkus and a collar bracelet for himself. Same day, Rocky and Adrian are also looking for a home for themselves, and the real estate agent is already there.
His numbers almost add up to 90. I like that. That's a good omen.
I think that's some astrology. The real estate agent shows him around, and Adrian over here being the responsible one and the one with the brain here knows that Rocky's just making the real estate agent's life easier by purchasing a house quickly here. So Adrian just goes with it, and Rocky is all ready to purchase the house. Next morning, we are at Apollo Creed's house, and we see his kids in the back playing. And no, one of those kids isn't Adonis Creed, Apollo Creed's son, the 2015 Creed movie, and then followed by Creed 2 from 2019. And then Creed 3, which came out in 2023, not that long ago, and I'll go over those movies a bit later. But no, one of those kids isn't Adonis Creed back there. So you see the Creed kids playing in the background, running around. We also see his wife, Mrs. Creed, and notices that Apollo is reading hate mail.
You're a fake. The fight was a fake. Go kill yourself.
That the fight was either fixed, Creed is a bum, Creed lost, blah blah blah, but Mrs. Creed tells Apollo that he should just stop thinking about it.
Why can't you ignore it?
I think her name's Maria. Cool tracksuit, by the way, Apollo. The next day we see Rocky playing some baseball with the local Philly kids, and he's at the hospital as Adrian's with the gynecologist. And we know that Adrian is expecting a baby. And now they're walking in the park discussing what the baby would be like if it were to be a boy or a girl.
Somebody like you.
Like you.
Like you.
Like you.
Like you.
Like you.
Now that Rocky is retired from being a boxer, he is at the studios where he's now filming ads, and we learn some new things about Rocky, which you will notice in just a few moments. And Rocky Balboa is ready to go, and action.
I splash it on, and it makes me smell mainly.
Smeal mainly?
So Rocky can't actually read, and the crew keeps on changing takes, and eventually the director gets extremely annoyed, and that he moves Rocky over to the alternative set, and action.
Can I do it over again?
Cut. No, just keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. Just read it off the dummy cards.
Once again, Rocky does not remember his lines, even with the large flashcard posters in front of him. He can't read it properly, and the director is annoyed again.
Leave. Get out of here.
Rocky politely refused to continue to do this, and him and Adrian leave. And the agent walks away in shame. Adrian and Rocky are back at home as Rocky learns how to read. And Rocky continues to find a job and is at an office now applying for an office job, but the man working there tells him that he should go back to being a boxer instead, and that he's good at it. Rocky leaves and is back to job hunting again, and this guy tells him that he needs a high school diploma to even find work. Having a high school diploma is literally the bare minimum for a majority of jobs. It's always been that way. And now he's back at home washing butkus, telling him that Rocky is struggling to find work. So Rocky's only solution is to get a job at Paulie's old place of work, the meat factory. So pretty much the two just swapped jobs. Paulie working for Gazzo and Rocky working for the meat factory. Yeah, pretty funny there. So we see Rocky now working with music playing similar to Kool and the Gang's tune from the first Rocky movie when Rocky comes back from fighting Spider Rico. He is called by the boss and tells him that he is essentially fired and that he cannot afford him anymore, and now Rocky's unemployed. Again.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you too.
Rocky's back at the docks area with his new sports car to meet up with Paulie once again. And now Paulie works for Gazzo now. They are at the same area where Rocky was at in the first movie, you know, when the customer was offering Rocky his coat. But Rocky's there to sell his car to Paulie as he licks his snow cone. You can tell Rocky needs some money, but Paulie's concerned that if Adrian's bothering about not having any money. Rocky leaves and the car now belongs to Paulie. Rocky is back at home in his basement punching the bag, and Adrian walks downstairs and tells Rocky that she is willing to work part-time again at the pet store.
But I'm the one who's supposed to support.
Rocky's out at night walking butkus only to go see Mickey, and Mickey actually lives upstairs from his boxing gym business. And we see Mickey all ready to go, and he now has a hearing aid in his right ear. But Rocky's there to see Mickey only to get a job at his boxing gym, but Rocky suggests that he can go back to his boxing. Mickey tests his vision to see if it's fine.
Now you see nothing.
Mickey also mentions that Rocky shouldn't work at the boxing gym since he's considered royalty after fighting Apollo Creed. But Rocky leaves for the night and he's asked to come back the next morning. We are back at Apollo's office and his team is also there wanting to get a rematch against Rocky Balboa, but Duke over here tells Apollo that it's time to fight new people. So Apollo's only solution is to make up a humiliation tactic, which you will see in a few moments. Next day, Rocky's back at the boxing gym. Everyone tries so hard to not look at Rocky as he walks into the gym. One of the guys gives Rocky this ad, of course promoted by Apollo Creed. And that was a humiliation tactic. The Italian chicken. Rocky now walks out of the bathroom and gives a demonstration and heads to the practice ring to pick up the bucket full of spit. And this comment really irritated Rocky. At the end of the day, Rocky's cleaning up and Tony Gazzo walks in, offers him back his old job from the first movie, but Rocky says no. But Gazzo leaves and Rocky now goes to see Adrian at the same pet shop. And Adrian is struggling to hold a bag pouring pet food. And the two go home now with Rocky trying to be funny. So the two walk out of the pet shop and see the same group of amateur boxers from the boxing gym. Guy standing outside looking at Rocky but ignores it.
Nah, he probably has him mixed up with somebody else. Come on.
So now Rocky and Adrian are back at home, talks to his pet turtle, turns on the TV, plays with Butkus and notices that Apollo is back on TV talking bad about Rocky. You know, desperate for a rematch. While Adrian's over hearing everything from the kitchen. Rocky walks upstairs while Mickey's also watching the same channel and seeing Apollo's ad.
I'm Lemmusburger.
Rocky and Adrian are having a conversation about responding to Apollo's ad on TV, and Rocky says that boxing is the only thing he's good at, but Rocky needs the money and someone is aggressively knocking on the Balboa house door. And it's of course Mickey.
I think we ought to knock his block off.
Absolutely.
Adrian giving that deadly stare that Rocky's wanting to box again. Okay, so we already have a press conference between Rocky Balboa and Apollo Creed once again. And Rocky adds some humor here.
Well, it's only about 10 minutes from my house.
I think Paulie here is probably staring at Apollo. Rocky gets asked the question what he will be doing with the prize money.
What are you going to do with the money?
Do is I gotta pay the rent, you know.
Apollo gets pissed off again.
I'm gonna drop him like a bad habit. Come November, you mind?
So now Mickey and Rocky are watching Apollo and Rocky's first fight from the first movie. You know, so that Rocky learns from his mistakes and makes some changes for the upcoming boxing match. So one of those changes includes running after a chicken.
You're like a Kentucky Fried Idiot.
One arm punches while the other arm tied against the rope. Of course, Paulie's sitting in the back watching like an Italian mob boss, like he's Marlon Brando from The Godfather, and asks Rocky if Adrian's bothering him about wanting not to fight. While Mickey wants Rocky to do one-armed punches 500 times for each arm. Meanwhile, Apollo looks like he's all ready to go. Looks like he's been watching too much Muhammad Ali or something as his inspiration. Rocky is super rusty and we see Adrian working again, struggling. Paulie's at the pet shop telling Adrian to stop distracting Rocky, and she does this to prevent Rocky from getting permanent damage.
See these goddamn squirrels?
So now Adrian falls to the ground, and now suddenly Paulie's concerned about his sister. Wow. Rocky's in the locker room as he easily gives up on training, and Mickey calls him a loser and to stop wasting his time. Now Rocky's called to come across the street to check up on Adrian, that she's sick. So the doctor tells Rocky and Paulie that Adrian's pregnant with a baby boy and that overworking at the pet shop caused hemorrhaging. Rocky goes in to check on Adrian. We see him tearing up because after the hemorrhaging, she fell into a coma. But Rocky was forced to leave, and now him and Mickey are back at the same church where he got married and is of course praying for Adrian's well-being. Mickey now gives a speech to Rocky after all that. He shouldn't give up. The next 2 minutes are of just Rocky just wanting Adrian to wake up and for the baby to be born, including Rocky perfecting his ability to read. Rocky and Mickey fall asleep and we see a miracle. Really great music for the scene here. Paulie's back with alcohol this time, and we see finally the Balboa baby, who will be more present in the next 4 Rocky movies.
Paulie's a great name.
No, it's not.
Rocky tells Adrian that fighting Apollo shouldn't work and he could find something else, but Adrian wants Rocky to fight Apollo.
One thing I want you to do for me.
What?
Come here. Win.
And the training begins.
What are we waiting?
Now with the formal training sequence with a slightly more strong version of the Rocky theme. And you can tell Rocky has a lot of support from the local Philly kids here. Apollo Creed is back, flaunting his physique, and looks at the picture of Rocky on his mirror. Rocky can't sleep because the boxing match is coming soon, and now we are at the opening of the boxing match in the local Philadelphia arena, and we see the 2 show announcers once again from the first movie with the crowd cheering for Rocky as Rocky gets ready. But he's not at the arena, he's still at home. Apollo's all ready to go, and here we see him and Duke, his trainer, is making Apollo feel good about himself. Rocky's ready to go and leaves Paulie alone with Rocky Jr. Everyone is so eager for Rocky Balboa to show up, but before that, Rocky stops by the church for Father Carmine to gain some blessings. So Rocky has made it to the arena and Mickey's pissed off with a whole line of cops waiting for his entry. Paulie and Adrian are at home watching the fight. Paul is still warming up while Rocky's doing exactly like he's doing in the first movie.
It's time, kid.
Mickey tells him to get up and now he's walking with all of the Philly cops watching. I don't see anyone cheering for Apollo Creed this time, but not even his own wife was cheering for him before all this. Here comes Apollo, by the way. And now for their introduction. This time we don't see George Durgans this time announcing the boxing match, since the actor Thayer David died of a heart attack in 1978. Oh, now she's cheering for him. So the rules are being announced and now we are ready to go, and Apollo Creed is taking the lead now, and now Rocky doing some serious damage. Rocky's getting defeated here. Apollo's starting out here, but Rocky manages to take over. And back again, and here we are, and here we see a questioning round. Rocky and Apollo at it again. And now a slow motion round, and Rocky wins the round. Apollo is punching Rocky in another slow motion round, and Apollo has got Rocky at the edge of the ring. So far, Apollo is winning for some rounds. Next round, Apollo has got Rocky cornered, and Rocky finally has got Apollo, but he takes over, and Rocky's now taking the lead once again. One of them has to get back up before the count of 10 is over, and Rocky did it while Apollo couldn't get up, leaving his wife disappointed. And Rocky Balboa once again, folks, and just like the first movie, everyone just gets into the ring to congratulate the champion. Rocky's now supremely rich now and is now a professional boxer from the beginning of the third Rocky movie. And there you have it, Rocky 2 from 1979. Think of this movie as The Godfather Part 2. Detailed movie, a lot happens and you see the bigger picture. So after this, there are 4 more Rocky movies, and I will most likely do Creed 1 and 2 with Michael B. Jordan in the near future. Once you begin something, might as well complete it. But for now, let's take a break from the Rocky movies, and we'll be seeing you soon in Under Siege from 1992, starring Steven Seagal. But for now, take care, like, comment, and subscribe, and watch away, and enjoy.